Okay, welcome back. Today we're looking at 3-9 more compositions. So this time we're kind of working backwards. So we're starting with something that's a composite function, and we're trying to find the two compositions such that f composed of g of x is equal to h of x. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to find what's the inside and what's the outside. So the inside here, inside of our radical sign, is 4x squared minus 9. So notice that that's going to be our g. So g of x, we're going to say, is the inside function. And again, I like the other way better, because if we wrote this, it would be f composed of g of x. And definitely we can see that the g of x is the inside, right? So we said the inside is 4x squared minus 9. So that will be our g of x. Now our outside function, right, f of x, is this square root. Right, so we're going to say square root. And then, because we're not going to plug that whole thing in there, we just say x, because we substitute our x into our x, our g of x, to compose our function. This is pretty easy. We got to figure out what is the outside. That's going to be our f of x, and the inside is going to be our g of x. Okay, next we're looking at h of x is equal to 4 minus 4x to the fifth. Definitely, because we have parentheses, we know that our inside, our g of x, is going to be 4 minus 4x. And then our outside is going to be that exponent 5, and we need to put an x there. Right, because we plug our g of x into our x to make this function. Inside, outside. Okay, let's switch our colors again. This time it's a little bit more difficult because it's going to ask us to do some algebra. So yeah, we can't get rid of algebra. It's gonna stay with us, and it's a little bit more funky because we have the squared and because we have a rational function for the 6 divided by x. Meaning that we have x in the denominator, and we're going to have to do a little bit different algebra to get there, but nothing that we haven't seen before. All right, so notice the first one is g composed of g of x, which is a little bit weird, but we're just plugging it into itself. So if I have 6 over x, right, and I'm plugging in 6 over x again into our x, so then we have this 6 over x plugged in for our x that we just had. Now, it's going to ask us to simplify, or well, it did ask us to simplify. So what this is going to be equal to is going to be, well, we have the 6 on top. And when we're simplifying, we don't like complex fractions, right? So anytime we have a complex fraction, all we need to remember, right, a fraction inside of a fraction, is we're going to change that divided by this division symbol here. We're going to change it to multiply by the reciprocal. Right, is one of those tricks that we learned in elementary or maybe intermediate school that, let's say we did, I don't know, 6 divided by 3. Right, well, we know that's 2, that's easy, right? But we can also say that that's the same thing as 6 multiplied by the reciprocal of 3, which is 1/3, right? 1/3 of 3 is still 2. So these two are equivalent. So we're going to apply that here. So we're going to say that 6 is the numerator, right? We're not touching it, but we're going to multiply it by x over 6, right? The reciprocal of 6 over x is x over 6. And what that allows us to do nicely is cancel out our 6's. This whole thing is just going to be x. Okay, so the composition part, not that bad, but just some of the algebra may be a little tricky. All right, let's change our color again. Let's do the second one. So we're doing h composed of h of x here. So we're doing our x squared minus 4. I'm plugging that in to x. This would be our x squared minus 4. So it looks super complex, right? Because we have to plug that inside into the outside. So the outside and the inside are technically the same. It's weird. All right, but All we have to do here is we're gonna take this whole thing with the square and we're gonna multiply it by itself. So we're gonna x squared minus 4 squared means times itself, right? So x squared minus 4 and then minus 4 again. And then we're gonna have to FOIL it or distribute, right? So then we get, let's move up to the right side. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Then x squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Then we move inside here, negative 4 times x squared is negative 4x squared. And negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. We can't forget that minus 4 there. Okay, and we're just going to clean it up a little bit. So we got x to the 4th. These are like terms, so negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8x squared. And then 16 minus 4 are like terms as well, so negative 16 minus 4 is positive 12. So this would be our answer here. Okay, so remember that the squared means times itself, so we multiply x squared minus 4 times itself here. We don't forget that negative 4 at the end. You're just going to multiply each part to each part in the next parentheses and simplify. Okay, and the last one is just applying it to a real life situation. So they're saying that the area of a circle, A of r, is equal to pi r squared. And they're saying that, okay, let's give us a function for the radius. So the function m of t is equal to 14 over 3 t. So it's saying write a formula z of t, combining the two. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug this, because it's the radius, into the radius here. So we're going to do, z of t. So this is the inside and this is the outside. So we have pi. Instead of a r, we're plugging in our 14 over 3t. And then we're not forgetting that squared outside. Okay, so that's it. Just remember that the inside and the outside, and then when we replace our radius here, we replace it with the whole inside. Okay, that is it for today. Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. It's just going to take a little bit of algebra, so it's going to take some time. It's going to be a little bit of work, but you should be okay. All right, make sure if you have any questions, you bring them in next time I see you, and then we can talk about them. Hopefully everything will be all good then. All right, good job.